When it comes to bent arm walks, what else is there besides turtles? Well, first and foremost, most obvious, most commonplace, is one called crickets. I've also heard it called bulldogs, at least in Los Angeles in the 90s. And crickets are fundamentally different from turtles in a couple of ways. Most importantly is the fact that one arm stabs while one arm is more free flowing. And one arm is more active and supportive. One arm is more passive and supportive. Well, they're both supportive, but in different ways, right? So this is supportive in that it supports your entire body weight, the majority of your body weight at least, 90+%. And this is supportive in that it assists, it helps the movement. So a cricket is a little bit more like a hand glide, where if you recall back in the 80s, they would put a beanie or a knee pad or some sort of cloth on their hand and then get into a stab position and paddle with the other hand until they had enough momentum that they could let go with that hand and continue to collide on the supporting hand. A cricket is almost identical to that, except that you're not spinning on something, you're hopping. And then you've got this, again, a syncopation of the hand, syncopated rhythm that you develop, which is not even. It's not a 1, 2, right, left sort of rhythm. It's a ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. And again, the sound is different because more weight on this hand, very little weight on this hand, as it helps you paddle in the same way that you paddle for a hand glide. So if I'm stabbing here, I'm going to push up in this way. So at the moment, I'm putting a lot of weight on my right hand, but in reality, I will not. I'm just using this to support my weight as I hop with the left hand. Again, going counterclockwise. So now, without the feet, you've got to be able to hold that position and rock back and forth. And what I can do there, what I'm already doing now, is putting my feet back on the floor as I prep to hop, and then I teeter-totter onto my hands. So my legs teeter-totter off the floor. I'm on both hands, and then I create that very much a teeter-totter effect, or a seesaw, or cantilevered balancing act. And I can kick my legs to assist that. And that's a skill that you can develop, which can take you down a whole rabbit hole of other movements, such as stacks and many other things. But for now, we want to do crickets. We want to turn. So the way we're going to turn is as we lean to the right, we're going to hop and just rotate a little bit. But we're also going to push our body with the right hand to our left in the counterclockwise direction if you go that way, like I do. Like that. Let's try the cricket while dragging a foot. That's really awkward, but I think it kind of works. So if I'm hopping on my left hand and I try to drag my right foot, it seems to work fairly well. I try to drag my left foot, not so well. Next, we try to stop using the legs, like we did before with the turtles. We're going to be more active with the legs. We're actually going to want to kick them. Whereas with the turtle, we didn't want that. We wanted more control. With the cricket, we do want control, but it's a controlled kick, not a wild kick. Okay. So with the cricket, your as is, the bone of your hip right here, anterior superior iliac spine, is supposed to be supported by the joint of the elbow, approximately where your funny bone is. Funny bone is not a bone, it's a nerve. So because it's situated right there and it's creating this ballistic activity, bouncing up and down off this bone to bone or bone to nerve action, there is risk there, just, which I have been the victim of, unfortunately. So I have a legitimate injury, a nerve injury, nerve damage here from actually trying to teach someone how to do crickets. I did one pump and my arm locked up. So I cannot completely straighten my arm or totally bend my arm as much as my right arm. You can see the discrepancy there. And these two fingers have numbness and tingling from the displacement of that nerve, unfortunately. It can only be fixed with surgery, so we're not going to do that anytime soon. But I have to be very cautious when demonstrating this move. Fortunately, the move can be done another way, which is to switch arms, going the same way. We can call this a reverse cricket. Now, once you've sustained enough momentum, both varieties of crickets, normal, left-handed, counterclockwise, or reverse, right-handed, can then be transitioned into what we call jackhammers on the correct hand, the left hand going my way, or the wrong hand, reverse jackhammers. I have not been able to do those in at least 25 years, so I'm not going to attempt to demonstrate them today. But you have seen them before. If you haven't, it won't take long to find another b-boy who can do them, and a few b-girls as well. Here's another variation that's a bit of a hybrid between a baby freeze and a turtle. You'll notice that that almost has the rhythm and the feel of the reverse cricket. It's just that instead of my left elbow being free, I've got my knee stuck to it. There is another variation of this that you've probably seen other b-boys do, where you do what's sometimes called a cross baby freeze. So right arm is tapped into the hip, but left arm is supporting the right knee. I don't have the mobility to do this, so I'm not going to demonstrate it. But again, not hard to find somebody who can.